Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 1 in a series between Quantix Hyun and StarNan here on Star Station. Now, this game is an anti-spoiler game. This is only going to be the only game I'm casting from the series, as unfortunately I do have other things to do. Now, Hyun is spawning as the red Zerg on the bottom right hand side. StarNan is spawning as the purple Protoss. Purple Protoss on Star Station. I don't know why. It looks like the building simply belongs here. And taking a look at it there, it just looks like this building is simply in its zone, in the right place. Meanwhile, this Zerg building over here just seems out of place and is begging to get destroyed and killed. We'll see if StarNan will be able to do that, or if Quantic Hyun will, I guess, remove home field advantage that StarNan currently has based upon the look and feel of the map. Now, Zerg versus Protoss has really unfolded in a number of ways. There's two ways that Protoss players can open up, either with that Forge Fast expansion or with a Mothership Core expansion. It looks as though we're going into a Mothership Core expansion in Game 1 here, as the pylon obviously not down here at the low ground. Mothership Core expansions do have the benefit of not sacrificing your tech early on, and is still fairly safe if you get that Mothership Core and leave it back at home. On top of that, as slow as the Mothership Core is, you can try and be aggressive with her, or with it. I don't know, does the Mothership Core have a sex? You can try to be aggressive with it. The Mothership Core is fairly effective at taking down a large number of Zerglings, but Queens are the problem. Queens can, in fact, shoot them down rather quickly, and a lot of Zerg players do go to 3 to 4 Queens off of 2 bases early on. Overlord is going to scout this all out here. StarNan, I don't know if he knows that it is not cross spawn only, as the Overlord is going to be getting into this position here and taking a good look around. Mothership Core expansion, that means that Hyun knows that he has to be a little bit more defensive. He cannot afford to try and place down a third base here or here just quite yet, just because he doesn't know if his opponent will be building a lot of gateways out of the way. You can see that the Nexus is already coming in. There it is. Meanwhile, back inside here, Queens are being trained up as well. 2 Queens, increased production, as I believe this is where Zerg generally just jump in terms of supply advantage, 24 to 23, but in the next minute or so you may even see like 40 to 30. No real alarm whatsoever, as much of that supply will be in Queens, perhaps even up to 8 supply with 4 Queens. Taking a look at how things are going to be unfolding. Queens are currently being trained, Zealot now being added, and now needs to get added to the front door. There is no buildings here on the front door as of yet, so Zergling run-bys are still a definite possibility. Now, StarNan doesn't want the Zerglings to run by, just because he wants to try to keep his strategy a bit secret. Zergling now going to try to make its way in. Is it going to be able to take down that probe? No, it is not, as a second gateway is added. Alright, this one poor probe may be forced to sit in here, making sure that units do not run by. There is still one Zergling off to the side. He wants to make sure he is not scouted out. He wants to try and run inside the main base. Will he be able to do so? And it looks like, yes, he will. No, a probe is going to try to intercept there just in time. And the Zergling may be able to get off this probe kill. It looks as though, yes, it will get off the probe kill there. I think if the Zergling had actually done a point of damage back to the, or the probe had done a point of damage back to the Zergling, that probe would have still been alive. Proxy Pylon now warping in. Probe trying to sneak its way in as well will not be successful, as the Zerglings taking the high road while the Protoss taking the low road to each other's base. You can see this Proxy Pylon will be warping in a number of units. And looking at StarNan, he is currently running on only 1 gas. That means that he will only be able to really reinforce with Zealots. Will the Zealots be effective enough? Meanwhile, also while getting in this Stargate is going to be a bit of of a gas sucker as well. He'll need to get an additional simulator or two. Zealot's now rushing in here. One low shield point. Zealot now rushing in. Looks as though the Zealots are trying to do a surround here. Mothership Core also here to surround. There is a time warp there, slowing things down a bit, but the Queen is going to be able to play a game of darts against that Mothership Core. Zealot's now backing off. Hyun in danger of losing this Queen here. Escapes with 10 hit points. Will it be able to get away? It looks as though, yes, the Queen is slightly faster than a Zealot while on creep. And Hyun dodges and avoids a lot of damage there beautifully. Now, Starnan making his way over. Perhaps he will be able to clean up a couple of Zerglings, but the Zealots will all fall here in just a moment. This is not good at all. The Mothership Core does need to back off now, as we now see a lot of Phoenixes being added. Now, Phoenix play has been one of those, or for me, has been one of those hotly debated issues. Phoenixes are generally a unit that you use to harass, but you can't really use it to get ahead all that much, especially when you were not able to take down one Queen during your Zealot pressure. That means that Hyun is now sitting on 3 Queens on 3 bases and can easily get more. We can see that the Overseer now going to be doing a bit of a flyby as well, and it actually spots the Stargate. So with that Stargate spotted, we should be seeing some Spore Crawlers coming in. Yes, Hyun responding and reacting beautifully as well. There's that Spore Crawler. This one Overseer will get taken down, but the scouting has been done. And now Starnan knows that there's a very small window of opportunity for him to be aggressive with these Phoenixes. Now coming back around. Let's see. Oh, look at those Phoenixes flying. It's kind of hard to tell that they're flying when it's over the dead space in the corners. Overlords are positioned all across the map. They will most likely get shot down here in just a moment. Phoenixes looking to clean up a couple of Overlords and make them at least worth some value there, as the Overlord will get taken down. And it looks like one will get taken down in just a moment. There it goes. Another Overlord is off over here. It will not get spotted, as Hyun is trying to clean up and gain map control. Let's take a look at the income. 1,800 versus 1,300. More gas slightly, but surprisingly, we do see a hive now coming in from Hyun. So a hive coming in from Hyun. I'm curious as to what that hive will be, what type of hive tech we will be seeing. I haven't even seen a single infester in many of Hyun's games recently. So a quick tech to tier 3 would normally mean Ultralisk. Now, we have seen a couple of force fields be placed down here to try and fend off attacks, but Ultralisk will really be able to barrel down there and take it out. Also, on top of this, we do have the robotics bay coming in, and we should see some extended thermal lance range on Colossus. That would be very, very important here, as we are currently sitting on these 5 Phoenixes who have really yet to pay for themselves. Void Rays may have been a better choice, considering how we've seen roaches used by Hyun in the past. All right, we now have, I believe I just saw an Hydralisk Den placed down somewhere. Yes, Hydralisk Den now in play, and I am still curious as to what type of tier 3 tech we will be seeing. Ultralisk, the definite possibility, but no, instead it is going to be Vipers, which I inherently thought were tier 2. All right, Vipers now being brought in. Anyways, as the Phoenix is now looking to back away, Viper is going to be very important at perhaps pulling on Colossus, making sure that those Hydralisks are able to stay alive. Meanwhile, Starnan is really hoping that this game goes longer. He is going into double robotics facility, and if he's able to double train Colossus with Immortals, that would be a tremendous, tremendous advantage for him, considering the amount of splash damage. However, he needs to keep these Colossus alive, and with Vipers around, that will be rather difficult. Vipers able to pluck units out of the sky, as we now see Phoenixes being brought over. Are they going to perhaps Graviton Beam a unit or two? Yes, does pick off a Hydralisk, but at the cost of a Phoenix. Not a good trade whatsoever. Phoenix is now still doing a bit of scouting. It looks like Hyun is going to be ready to reinforce his army, much, much larger than you would normally think at this time. 93 supply. Vipers are here, ready to go. We could see an abduction, and yes, there's the abduction. The Mothership Core completely shot down in an instant. No photon overcharge. That is going to be a heavy shot, heavy loss there, as the Colossus still waiting on extended thermal lance range. There's the yoink, and down goes another Colossus. That is a lot of damage potential now all of a sudden lost here, as the roaches are reinforcing. It doesn't look like a very large army, not even one full control group, but this is still very, very damaging as more units are still reinforcing. One Colossus has arrived off to the north. It looks as though the Colossus is trying to make its way in. Is it going to be able to deal any damage whatsoever? Trying to push back here. Phoenix's Vipers coming in all together. As we can see, a Hydralisk will get taken down. And now the Phoenix is being forced to just try to Graviton Beam in order to win this battle. Vipers now getting shot down very, very easily. But we see a transition into heavy Roaches. And the Roaches are extremely effective against this Phoenix army. Void Rays, as I mentioned earlier, would have been much better, as the Phoenixes, all they can do is watch their entire base fall. Star9 now down to 89, 91 supply. Hyun up to 143 as his army is melting away, but the rate at which Star9 is losing, especially in the number of workers killed, 13 to 8, and the loss of this base, does indicate a GG from Star9. Hyun taking this game as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.